Hi Saibu,
Hi Aditya.
welcome to Sudeep Audio's channel.
Yeah, welcome.
Uh, it's a fantastic studio that we see here. We'll take a look at it in the second video, but let's know more about you, your engineering journey, and how you kind of came into this line, etc. So can you please tell us something about yourself?
Sure, we'll start from how I got into music first because I'm born and brought up in a Christian family. So
Are you from Bombay?
we were in Kalyan at that time,
Okay.
Mumbai in Maharashtra, and my father is a priest, so
Okay.
I got an extra opportunity to play around with the instruments which is used in the church. So that's my basic where I started from, and I was a part of a church choir. So music was always inclined in me. More than a technician, I was a musician, and I did my piano grades through Trinity College. Um, I used to play in the church. Then I became a part of a choir. Then we had small bands when I was in college. But college days, I moved to Kerala. I was there, and in our college we came up with this idea like let's make a album. So that's my first experience, which I went to a studio myself, and we recorded all 8 songs in one day and mixed it also. Because in college we don't have that kind of budget or something, but a couple of professors backed us so that we went and did that.
Was it
And
difficult to raise funds for the?
funds in the sense it was not that difficult because we were the main pianist of the band was principal's son itself.
Okay.
So it was very easy to get access on all the fun side because it was a personal backing anyway. The professors and the lecturers who are interested into music, they backed us basically, and we only had to take care of our expenses, or like we didn't have to pay the studio and all from our pocket. But we had a time restriction, like finish everything in 12 hours.
And you finished 8 songs.
Yeah, that 8 songs we practiced about 6 months,
Oh.
and it was like a one take. Like today, I don't know how many bands can do a song in one take. That I did once. That I'll explain it to you later. But that's how my music journey started. Then that particular album clicked very nicely in the college. Initially, it was like forcefully, because of the principal and the other main teachers were involved, they had to forcefully sell it. Like with the next time, if you want to pay the fees, you have to buy this cassette. There is no more, so like thanks to him, and that opportunity which they all gave us as students at that time got me in this seat today. I remember him. I remember, and thanks to all the people who were at that time who helped us. Anyways, from there, like in our family, there is nobody in this technical side. So it was basically a tedious job inside myself to convince me like this particular post jobs which we all take up is not a job which we can follow our principles in life as well as our work, because we are committed to lots of things as a person in the house, and we are also committed to as a person to this particular post kind of jobs. So in family, I had to break up with lots of people. Even my father didn't understand, like what is this timing problem, like सब लोग घर पे 6 बजे आते हैं, तू किधर है? फिर रात को 10 बजे भी फोन करके पूछते हैं, अभी सब लोग सोने का आया, अभी तक तो घर पे नहीं आया. So it was like to make my father convinced. It took me years. Like this is a job where there is no time.
There's no 9 to 6.
Yeah,
Kind
there's
of
no 9 to 6. It's not a bank job or.
It's maybe a 6 to 9, no?
Yeah,
Six
it's
to
like
evening
whenever mood. Like today, I'm in a particular way of working. Like whenever my boss, my Mr. Hariharan ji, feels like, he just walks in and we have to start our work, and we don't look onto the watch like what time we started work, and when we all get tired, we stop.
Okay.
So there is no timing like that. Today also it's going like that. But when it started initial days, it's very difficult to convince anybody there is a time restraint job. So I have seen that. I have slept overnights 3 days continuously in the studio itself. Then I go home if the client permits. So that those days when I started off with less number of studios, that's in 95, 96 time. And in Bombay there was only 2 or 3 digital studios, and one was this studio where we started with. It's Joshua Incorporated, Joshua INC Studio, which is owned by Raju Singh and Shirley Singh. The studio is named after their son Joshua. So that was also a new name to Bombay industry.
Right.
To Bollywood, to Collywood, to Mollywood. Everybody used to ask me, "Ye kya naam hai? Joshua." So some people made a joke out of it, like जो हुआ सो हुआ तो Joshua. जोश से हुआ इसलिए Joshua.
Right.
So there were lots of jokes after that name, but anyway that name clicked, and everybody, I think from Kerala to Nepal, I can tell like that, Kanyakumari to Nepal, everybody knew that name. Because I got to do almost all 22 languages of projects there in that particular studio. Starting from 96 to 2010, continuously I was there. The first couple of years I was assisting Mr. Raju Singh, Mr. Jatin Sharma, and after for about a year I assisted Mr. Alex Patole also. So that's the journey in Bollywood I started, and it's a completely analog setup basically. Analog setup. In my college days, whatever like I did 3 albums back to back after that first album which we did. So all those setups were analog, and completely it was on 1/4 inch and half-inch recordings. In Joshua Studio, the entire setup is analog, but the recorded material will be saved onto hard disk, hardware recorder, and the recorder was first time in India which came. It's called Soundscape. The mother company is TC Works from UK, marketed, but made it in Belgium. The software which we were using to run that Soundscape editor was RED, R-E-D. It was first time came, and there was no instructions given, there was no manual we had. It was like we had to work hard to understand the software, and nobody in India had at that time to call up and find out like how to install it, what is the problem, and what can be the problem. Couple of first recordings we missed, we couldn't find till date. Because we didn't know how to save it, where will it go. Just completely operated on a PC. Windows commands were there, but
And no YouTube also to.
no YouTube, no
Internet.
socialization, nothing. Only, and no mobiles that time, only landlines. So the contacts were less, but we know what we were doing, and that's how the recording started. And today, if I name anybody, everybody, I got the opportunity to work with in that studio. Either it will be their personal private album, or it will be a part of film original soundtrack. Almost all music directors, renowned music directors, have gone through that studio, because it was like as I told earlier, it is a completely analog setup with a digital recording hardware, software with it. So that was a good combination, I feel, and it was lined up with Amec Big by Langley with the 48 track with recall, first time, an analog mixer with recall. Recall in the sense not on the faders, but the rest of the things, the EQ, the auxiliaries, the dynamics, the compression section had recall, and it was running through DOS commands, and you can imagine how slow it is as in those days, but it was manageable. But some projects we used to get like, Saibu, come back, that purana mix nikalna. Usko bolne mein khatam ho gaya, but it's a very tedious job to get an analog mix, get back to the first stage. We used to save it like mix 1, mix 2, mix 3, and sometimes the music director likes the mix 3. From mix 4 we have to jump to mix 3. It's not an easy job then. Everybody goes for like couple of cigarette breaks, couple of tea breaks, then only the mix will come back. It's not like one click you get the mix back. So that was our board about, and it was piled up with all hardware gears, like say from Lexicon, Yamaha, TC, M2000, M5000, Zoom, Tube Vitalizer, Drama 1960, Drama 1951. So it's a fully fledged analog charged up studio, and everything you can, like each channel had got a compressor section, each channel had got dynamizer section, each channel have got their own EQs, and 8 auxiliaries, 24 bus, a very nice board. And till 2006 the mixer performed 150% right, and on 2006 July 26 we lost it because of the rains and the overflooded on that evening. Then couple of things from that mixer got rectified, and I ran again for another 4 years more. Then it started calling off. So that's how that AMEC history finished. In those days, we planned like what to do, go ahead. So we shifted to a couple of digital mixers in those days, but still we like the amplification, and our ears were totally tuned to this analog setup. For monitoring, I was using dynaudios. I had about 3 pairs of different dynaudios with me. I had M2s, I had M1s. Sorry, I had 4 pairs. I have BM6 and I have BM5. So it is completely a dynaudio section. And every time whenever we want to like have a look onto each monitor, at a time I can play back through 4 monitors. That's how I started. And projects, when I discuss, there are lots of things which I started off with mistakes, and how it came a huge hit. Like one of the mistakes, let me share with you all, like one of the hit songs, Afreen Afreen, which is completely produced from Raju Singh. In the final mix stage, that song went for mastering and it got released. After release, we came to know we forgot to switch on the chorus original signal, only the reverb signal went into the track. The track means the 2 track. So these are a couple of small mistakes but huge hits.
Right. So does the audience easily catch these?
The audience never caught. We also didn't caught the mix. The video director was Mr. Ken Ghosh, and he took this track and must have been played 100 times before shooting, and while shooting also nobody recognized it. When we were hearing back from the TV, and till date also in YouTube also, when I hear, we understand that small mistake and I laugh to it. Like only reverb can be heard, there's no track. But the video enhanced that, because the video was shot in a desert, so people thought it helped.
Yeah.
So mistake worked. Coming back to how some small what you call mistakes which helped me to grow. There was one project which was going on, and it's a Plus Music at that time produced this particular album. One day we were recording and everything finished, and the song was sung by the singer Alka Yagnik ji, and song recording over, the mixing stage was going on. We lost the files.
How did that happen?
Like it must be an ignorance of the saving thing or something like that, the initial days.
Right.
But I can see the entire project lying here and there in my directory. So suddenly there is no Google to find out like how to get this from directory. Trial and error method, we started shifting, taking. A couple of takes were full takes, and those days it is very easy, like the musicians used to give full one run through, or again full one more run through, till the track is been blended with what is the programmer have programmed to the track. So the programmer also gave the whole tracks, the musicians also played the whole tracks, but there were solo pieces, like say like flute, there were some saxophone pieces, I remember. Then there is Alkaji, which has sung completely, which has sung corrections. And while doing all these things, I forgot also what is the tempo of the song. But somehow, I took about 12 to 14 hours. When Raju ji came back the next morning, the song was almost ready, but while playing back, Raju ji understood this was not the look of the window. Because there is not like to ask of today, like there's no 400 or 500 tracks, very less tracks, so you can very fast find out. Like then he called me, Saibu, what happened? I told like there was no tracks in the morning. Then yesterday there was no work, so I was sitting on the track, and I tried to manage to put wherever I felt. Because why I could do this, because of the music I learned, because of the music I know, because of the tempo knowledge I had, because of the technicalities, more than technicalities of the music friendly things which I had, helped me to complete this particular song and got to a position where now Rajuji can correct it, Rajuji can fix it properly. So that was one major class which myself I got from my initiative mentality, or I took initiative in it and I corrected it. And that album is a huge hit. It's Tum Yaad Aaye. And that album, I think Mahesh Bhattji had done the video. And in 96, 97, this was one of the huge hits, and it was about a year, maybe more than a year, it was in top charts of MTV. Those days MTV used to play pop and
Non-film.
And non-film. And none of the people who acted in it were known faces. Only it went to the song. Today also, if I click on YouTube, this particular song comes, and that particular the particular thing about that song is if there is no rhythm in it, there is no percussion in it. The song is just held tightly with the singing, with the composition, and some string section which is giving the pace of the song, which is giving the movement in the song. So this was one of the experiences, like for the generation I can share with. Like when you face trouble, you don't have to run away from it. You can solve it. As I told you, I am working in an analog studio, and today also I am in an analog studio. Lots of a time there are problems facing on cabling, because if you go behind this mixer, anybody will go mad, because it took me 6 months to design how the cable should go. The same way, this is only 32 track mixer, and the mixer which I was explained to you was 48 track and 24 bus and connected to 3 rooms. So you can imagine how many cables have to run throughout, in, out, and all these cables cannot run without anybody's knowledge. And so always I was behind the mixer, not in the sense like cabling.
Right.
And I'm behind the mix also. So you can tell like that. And we had this machine which nobody had, I told you, that Soundscape. Those days it is connected through TDIF, that is Tascam digital interface. And the tracks were being passed through the mixer to the IO boxes, the input-output boxes. Those was designed by Apogee at that time for these TC works. Apogee, but the name was SSIO. The application was installed by Apogee, but then they were selling it through their company, so it was SSIO, that Soundscape input-output. So those machines were connected through TDIF. The mixer was connected through analog. The other machines which is in and around was connected through digital input outputs, and the hardware gears were connected through again analog, coming back to the mixer. And so it's the cabling was a havoc there, the patchway was a havoc, and I didn't have much of a place also. These entire things were lying in about 500 to 700 square feet, with the dubbing room, with a small reception. And it was not a very big studio or something, but lots of great equipments we got to work with in that studio. Experiences which I would love to share is like lots of Indian instruments. I got to record that inside everything live, from all wind instruments, all string instruments, all hitting instruments except piano we recorded there. All percussions we recorded there. One very big recording session happened was Roland's, the Indian series card, which they wanted to sample. They chose our studio, and each instrument had to play a particular scale, a particular note, and the Roland guys were sitting in front of me. That time, the main singer promoter from Air Supply from Australia, Arden Scott, he was also present there to check the quality of the recording. So I got to assist them. Recording we were doing, sampling session the Roland guys were doing. So the Indian ethnic card which you get in the Roland is been recorded by us, and all percussionists, all musicians in Bollywood in those days came. They rendered their instruments or they rendered their capabilities, and that today you all are playing on the keyboard, those tones which you hear. I myself have a Roland here, so it's a like I was also involved in it. It's kind of a kick you get.
That's true. That's true.
This is one big experience I want to share. But all these things had to take a long way, like from '96 to 2010. That's a huge period, about 3 to 4 films in a year, which includes the songs, which includes its background. One film, it comes like the musicians are hanging around in the studio for about not less than a month up to 3 months. Like Raju Singh ji used to do very lavishly, so his works is not less than 2 months, 3 months types. Then Monty Sharma, then Preetham also did a couple of projects in the early days there. Then the backgrounds goes by Dhruva Fukun. Like these are some of the names which I recollect. In my memory is also a little out. So, but these were the projects which we used to handle in a year, 3 to 4 films, and about not less than 10 albums. All are Hindi albums, and couple of South Indian and other languages, Bengali, Punjabi, Nepali albums, like because of the friendship with different people and the word around spread about the studio, and lots of Assamese albums, like that I forgot to tell, like one of the initial clients which I worked was Zubin Garg. You must be knowing him after Ya Ali, but I used to work with him in '96, '97. He used to sleep in the studio itself because he used to sing about 15 to 20 songs in a day for his albums, for other albums, and every month I think about 10 albums, 5 to 10 albums of Zubin will be released through different companies in Assam. So Zubin was one of the main client in those days, and it was Assamese album. I never understood what is happening, but I enjoyed music. And lots of these albums he only composed, or he sat for composition, and it's his style of singing. But his break I saw after Ya Ali, and after that also I never met him.
How did you come to Hariharan ji's studio?
Hariharan ji's studio, again, it is like Hariharan ji was a main client of Joshua for about 6 to 7 years. After he had one of the best studios in late 80s to early 90s. Beats, that's in Dadar Prabhadevi area. And that studio got shut down because of road widening and other traffic problems there. Then Hariji didn't had his studio himself, so all his equipments were piled up in his office and his other houses and all. So those days he just walked into Joshua and the rapport worked with us, and we recorded lots of things like that. Hariji did his one of the albums. You can't call it a Gazelle album, but it has got that nice feel to it, feel good album. It's composed by Raju Singh, and that was Tum Aaye, penned by Javed Saab. So that particular time when we were doing the album, it took about a year to produce that entire project. That project came out very well. Hariji liked the the production concept, how we produced it, and we mastered it in in UK from 360 degrees from Richard Beetham. It came out one of the best pop albums through Sony. We released it. So that's a good rapport to start off with. With that, Hariji started recommending himself. अरे मेरा आवाज record करना है तो जोशवा में जाना पड़ता. So it became this thing. Hariji का कोई भी गाना हो, Hindi हो, Tamil हो, Telugu हो, Kannada हो. And some days Hariji just walks in and sings 6 songs, sometimes 8 songs, sometimes 2 songs, sometimes 1 song. So, but then that whole day I'm recording and I'm meeting like 4 to 5 different music directors. And one will be Hindi, one will be Marathi, one will be Tamil, one will be Kannada. And I get to meet them like 2 hours, 3 hours. That we share our numbers, we share our details. Next time, they don't have to go around through Hariji. They directly call me up, they book the studio, they come. So that connection of mine became very good with all states. I can tell through Hariji, through Udit Narayan sir. So through KK, through Sonuji, like all these singers, rather than Hindi, they used to sing all other languages. So all these, Shreya Ghoshal, Shankar Mahadev. Shankarji, we used to record at morning 8 o'clock, 7:30, late night 2 o'clock. And today also when he calls me up and tells me, Saibu, मैं रात को आऊँ ऐसा मतलब he just he knows like at 12 o'clock 2 o'clock or he can call me. And we recorded last song, we recorded at 12 a.m. we started the recording, and you know till what time it will go. And recently it happened, so for his project also, the song which he sang with and it was, he was fully thrilled because that Shankarji was singing his duet with Lataji, and this was for Lataji's own production, LM Music I think. And we recorded it here at about 12 in the night. Lataji was not here at that time, but Shankarji was doing a duet with her. So that's how we worked with all singers, and I was lucky enough to work with all singers. Private album, that's the main thing. Like you be with the singer for quite a long time. Like Sunidhi, I met her when she was 12 years old, and that time I was doing this album with Raju ji was doing the album, and I was helping him out. Era Kera Natu Kera, one of the best albums I feel like of Sunidhi, and it took 2 years to complete. Sonuji is one of the first albums. Sapne Ki Baat, if I'm right, Sapne Ki Baat. And Shan's one of the first time, KK's album. Hariji's I can't tell like it's the first time, but I worked with Hariji. With that Shankarji's maybe it must be a second or third album. Shairana, very nice album. Universal Music, I think one of their initial productions. So you name any playback singer, you name pop singers like Mika, Dalerji, like Punjabi albums with Jassi, with Bali Sagu, like that, all Punjabi stuff, underground stuff. Then one major click I got, like an international entry I got through Buddhabar. So the Buddhabar tracks was made in by DJ Ravan. He's from Israel. And DJ Horde, he's also from Israel. They all came in, and accidentally they on the website or somewhere they saw this equipment list, and they came to the studio and they were like shocked. Are we going to work in this small setup? But your name, you had an ample number of things which I thought like the place is very big. Then in 5-10 minutes they got adjusted with, and I think they invited Rakesh Chaurasia to play flute on it. This has been released not in India, but later on it came like piracy to India, and then Times Music took over this. And these all live recordings we did, except the rhythm section, and some tabla was played on it. Girish Vishwa I called to play tabla on it. Then Raju Rao sir played keyboard sections on it, and these are some couple of things which I recollected in late 90s when Buddhabar we were involved. And the producer of Buddhabar was Mr. Hovanes. He was from He's a Siberian, I think, but staying in Europe. So then through that album I got a French entry, like a French band came to India. They had a email conversations for about 6 months, I think. Then they booked the date and they landed up. And this particularity of this particular Joshua studio is like it's next to a hotel. So they stayed in that hotel, and about a month it was a jamming session. Morning they come, they have a cup of coffee. In the afternoon they have a coffee. That's the only breaks we get. Two singers, one male and one female, two guitarists and one percussionist. They all are playing together and I'm recording. All mics were running. So I kept Neumann for voice, Jeffel for percussions, then guitars, one I plugged in through my amp, and the acoustic guitar I mic'd another Jeffel snake mic for the acoustic guitar. And it was I had a partition in between, like here also I kept that partition for that remembrance. So we recorded everything live. That was like about a month continuously they used to record, and we chopped out what we needed. That turned out to be a very good album. I'm not getting the name. When I remember in this conversation I had, I will tell you. And if I'm right, the name is like Siska Khan, something like that. I have to Google it to find out. And it was a mind-blowing band. They came from French Reunion Islands and they stayed in Bombay, and we experienced a nice time. 6 o'clock every day was a pack-up day those days when this album was on.
So then you could have gone home earlier.
No, then 6 o'clock they all are single malt guys. So
Oh, okay.
they open a single malt at 6 o'clock. 6:15, one guy is sitting outside opening a single malt. That's their style of work.
So I think your family must have given up seeing you coming on time or
coming to my family, I got married late, so a couple of the first initial days, like my wife, they never asked me like where are you. Like I gave her a rough idea like what will be the scenario, but it was too hard her to understand like is this the kind of work. Then
That's true.
I got her to the studio. Then she also started hanging around there and sat in the reception for some time. Then she understood like ये तो घर पे आने वाला नहीं, मैं जाता हूँ. At least तो मेरा नींद तो खराब नहीं होएगा. With that routine went till now. Whenever they want to eat, they eat and they go to sleep.
Correct.
I still do catwalk inside the house.
It is nice to know so many things that you've worked upon.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've done many more albums, which is
Yeah.
we can always go on. Anything that you'd like to tell the young engineers who are starting off, because everybody today is looking at instant success, that I joined today, tomorrow I need an album recording.
Instant success is on your talent. I'm not instant success is there for lots of people. It's there. Lots of people have to hard work. So in my case, I had to hard work because instant success that time was, if I tell about instant success, it's a success. Like I used to feel like 24 hours is less. Like after 36 hours also, after 40 hours also, like I used to feel like it's only 6 बज गया, but 6 बजे next day शाम को हुआ है. It's like, and habit of wearing watch I started recently, otherwise I never used to wear watch. And Joshua, the speciality was the clock was behind me. So if I have to look also, I have to look like this, so I forgot to look the watch. And always there was light inside the studio, so we never understood. Like it is morning 6 o'clock, it's evening 6 o'clock, it's afternoon 2 o'clock, or it's night 2 o'clock. Always there was lights inside. The time factor wasn't a problem. Here in this studio setup where I am sitting right now, you are seeing me because of the daylight, because it's a full daylight. So now I am adjusted to the nature. Earlier I was not adjusted to the nature, but I never understood. I feel like the music director gives us a particular kind of responsibility, or the singer gives us a particular kind of responsibility, and he or she have got that much of confidence that this guy will do it for us. So as an engineer, I'll tell you 2-3 like points to be remembered. Never discuss about a singer outside.
Okay.
There are lots of flaws in singers. There are lots of like no problems in singing. Every day, every singer is not right. Every day, every singer can't perform well. So why we are engineers here? Not to goof it up, to cover it up, not to make a problem, to solve a problem. So this is one main advice when we engineers sit together. We make fun out of others, but it should not be a public pulling anybody's leg. And you should make it a point when other people with whom you don't know very personally, don't discuss that, what you are doing, which singer you are working with. It's okay. Now, like every small thing people do, they go and write on the socialization pages like ये हुआ वो हुआ मैं अभी बाहर आया थक गया मतलब करेक्ट है थक गया इन द सेंस इट शुड बी इन अ पॉजिटिव वे लाइक मैं भी अभी थक गया मैं काफ़ी गाने रिकॉर्ड करने के बाद मैं ऐसे बैठेगा थक गया but that shouldn't be shared like why I am like थक गया. Then people will ask you what happened, then you have to badmouth a singer or you have to badmouth a musician or you have to badmouth a mix or a music director. So that's a very good advice I feel for the youngsters. Like success will come anytime, but it should not be with somebody else's bad mouthing you got a success. That you are a big guy so that singer ko tune banaya. This is not the point. Why we took this job, why it is always called as post, because we are not in the front. Otherwise I could have been an actor, I could have been opted myself to an actor. So why I took a step behind to cover them up, to help them up, to go ahead. Because if artist is not there, engineer is not there. That's the main point. If artist is not there, there is no engineer. तो मैं खुद गा के मैं तो रिलीज नहीं कर सकता. मेरे को एक सिंगर चाहिए चाहिए, मेरे को एक म्यूजिशियन चाहिए चाहिए, मेरे को एक म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर चाहिए चाहिए. So that is the point I am sharing with all the youngsters. Like we are here to cover up and to support this particular system which is going on. And today, you tell anybody like what's the project you are working on, you can just share with them like this is the project and that's it. You don't have to explain like what is a singer about and how is a singer about, how is the music. Everybody has got their own weak points and good points, and that's and you put your 100% soul inside it, it will return it to you back. Like the old say in 1888, I think in the Yale University they started talking this, and today it's in vogue. Like what you do around, it
comes around.
So that's it. That's what in my success I have to tell and I have to share with you. There are lots of colleges which has come in and lots of engineers have been produced. Me myself have trained about 18 to 20 engineers, and Daman Sutsa, whenever one batch comes out, he calls me up and tells Saibu, I'm sending you this guy to you. And so Sutsa also becomes happy after that guy reaching a particular point or he attaining this thing. He hangs around with me, he understands with me. We give guidance to engineers, I'm not here, they are not here to assist me. I'm like totally against this assistantship. The engineers stand in behind, and after some time he or she becomes a spot boy or a coffee boy. Like chai bol dena. So that shouldn't happen. You should hang around in a place where you have your own freedom and you learn from your senior engineer. I got that opportunity, and my senior engineers never asked me to, like in my concern, I do something that's a different thing, but they never ordered me to do this. I have seen that in other studios and other places. I'm not against it or something like that. It must be a schooling, but luckily my schooling was like I used to help them. I used to do whatever I feel like. And that's not anything like a slavery or something. I have seen like engineers working like slaves. I feel bad for them. But that is a kind of schooling. Another kind of schooling is like you learn with your senior engineer. My engineers used to teach me. My engineers used to help me out. Like Saibu ye kar le. So that is an opportunity which I got. Like Raju ji gave me an opportunity. Jatin ji gave me an opportunity. That opportunities took me ahead. And today they all are happy, like I am in a nice place. I'm again coming back to this one of the best studios which we got the IRA awards. So with the best equipments and first time in India equipments types. So this is a humble request to my youngsters and the young engineers. Like, go ahead, I'm with you.
Thank you so much, Sai.
Yeah.